You know what that sound means. Round 2 Wrestling is back. Thank you for tuning into this brand new podcast during the 13th of September 2023. I am your host with the most wrestling information, SlimmDa KID, and for those of you who have never listened to my broadcast, it is very similar to a news style broadcast. We have it broken down into several rounds or several segments, beginning with round 1, the pro wrestling rumor mill. These could be real, these could be fabricated. It's up to you, the fan, to decide what you want to believe. We then move on to round 2, pro wrestling news. This is actual, factual, confirmed news across various outlets. We then move on to round 3, title matches and those exclusive results for you, the fan, before concluding with round 4, did you know pro wrestling facts. This is the kickoff for round 2 wrestling, so we are going to move right into round 1. This is the pro wrestling rumor mill. All right. CM Punk may be out of AEW, but he's not done with wrestling yet. Rumor has it that Impact Wrestling is super excited about the idea of Punk maybe coming to wrestle for their promotion. AEW wrestler set to make his in-ring return. Bandito should be back in AEW soon, according to Wrestling Observer newsletter. Bandito has been out for several months with an injury. It will be nice to see him back in the ring. BWE claims that LA Knight, Seth Rollins, Imperium, The Miz, Drew McIntyre, and several NXT talents are all up for new contracts. However, few have been approved so far by WWE. This won't last. Most of these wrestlers will be re-signed in some capacity in the upcoming weeks and months. It is expected that AEW's Bryan Danielson will primarily work on AEW Collision going forward rather than AEW Dynamite, basically taking Punk's place on the Saturday night show. Sports Illustrated says the Hall of Fame Dudley Boys recently signed Legends contracts with WWE. No further information was available at the time of this broadcast. The Wrestling Observer Network says Gable Stevenson has been officially removed from the NXT roster. It's not clear what exactly that means, but he's not in the brand's current plans right now. We may be seeing him on the red or blue brand sooner rather than later. Fightful Select says Deonna Purrazzo's contract with Impact Wrestling is up at the end of the year. This is an interesting rumor that we will keep our eyes on for the foreseeable future. According to House of Wrestling, the social media messages Mike Santana and Ortiz exchanged over the weekend are, quote, genuine and not part of some storyline between the two, end quote. It's no secret these two do not like one another. However, they may work together moving forward strictly from a professional standpoint. That is the conclusion of round 1. We are going to keep this gravy train rolling right along, and we are going to move into round 2, pro wrestling news. WWE announces the location and date for 2024's Royal Rumble pay-per-view. The Royal Rumble heads to St. Petersburg/Clearwater, Florida on Saturday, January 27th at Tropicana Field, home of the Tampa Bay Rays baseball team. WWE is in talks with networks for the next set of media right deals for Raw and SmackDown ahead of those contracts with USA Network and Fox expiring next year in 2024. While speaking on Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer noted Amazon and Disney are the two companies that are most in contention for SmackDown's TV rights. WWE and UFC have officially merged into one giant global entity for the foreseeable future. Endeavor announces the close of UFC and WWE transactions to create the TKO Group Holdings, a premium sports and entertainment company. The new group began trading yesterday, September 12th, under the TKO ticker symbol. WWE has taken Matt Riddle off the road following him accusing a New York City airport police officer at JFK Airport of sexual harassment this past Sunday. According to reports, a disorderly person, Riddle, was deplaning in New York when he was approached by Port Authority. Shortly after this, Riddle reported sexual harassment on Instagram. Port Authority was shocked. From their view, they did not do anything to deserve such an accusation and take the claim seriously. The launching of an internal investigation has been announced by Port Authority. Former WWE wrestler makes her return to the promotion. Nia Jax made her return this past Monday on Raw, where she challenged the WWE Women's World Champion Rhea Ripley. Jax was released from WWE in January of 2021. No news on how long or what the terms are for Nia Jax and WWE moving forward. Pro football and pro wrestling don't mix. WWE's Monday Night Raw has been up against the NFL's Monday Night Football for decades, and it's a battle they may never win. Raw viewership was way down this past Monday due to the Jets-Bills Monday Night Football game. A whopping 22 million tuned in to the opening Monday Night Football broadcast. This may be a sign that WWE Raw will struggle against its much larger and much more influential competition than realized. In contrast, AEW Collision has done fairly well against Saturday night college football so far this season. That draws to a conclusion round 2 and pro wrestling news. We are going to keep this gravy train rolling just like we said before and move right into round 3 title matches. However, warning, this next segment may contain spoilers for your favorite promotions and pay-per-views, including WWE Superstar Spectacle, Impact Victory Road, Ring of Honor, New Japan Pro Wrestling, and Impact 1000. NWA Women's World Television Champion Max the Impaler defeated Taylor Rising to retain the NWA Women's World TV title. CMLL Occidental Trios Champions Magnificos defeated Malditos to retain the CMLL Occidental Trios Championships. AEW International Champion Jon Moxley defeated AR Fox to retain the AEW International Championship. AEW TBS Champion Chris Statlander defeated Amy Sakura to retain the AEW TBS Championship. Ring of Honor Women's World Champion Athena defeated Allison Kay to retain the Ring of Honor Women's World Championship. New Japan Pro Wrestling World Television Champion Zack Sabre Jr. defeated Rohi Oiwa to retain the New Japan Pro Wrestling World TV title. WWE Women's World Champion Rhea Ripley defeated Natalya to retain the WWE Women's World Championship. Impact X Division Champion Lio Rush defeated Kushida to retain the Impact X Division Championship. Impact Knockouts Tag Team Champions MK Ultra defeated Giselle Shaw and Savannah Evans to retain the Impact Knockouts Tag Team titles. Tommy Dreamer defeated Impact Digital Media Champion Kenny King to become the new Impact Digital Media Champion. Impact World Tag Team Champions The Rascals defeated the Motor City Machine Guns to retain the Impact World Tag Team titles. Impact Knockouts World Champion Trinity defeated Alicia Edwards to retain the Impact Knockouts World Championship. New Japan Pro Wrestling World Television Champion Zack Sabre Jr. defeated Satoshi Kojima to retain the New Japan Pro Wrestling World TV title. New Japan Pro Wrestling Never Openweight 6-man Tag Team Champions Hiroshi Tanahashi, Tomohiro Ishii, and Okada defeated Tiger Mask, Toji Makabe, and Hiroyoshi Tenzin. AEW International Champion Jon Moxley defeated Action Andretti to retain the AEW International Championship. AEW TBS Champion Chris Statlander defeated Robin Renegade to retain the AEW TBS Championship. Impact Knockouts Tag Team Champions MK Ultra defeated Death Dolls to retain the Impact Knockouts Tag Team titles. Chris Sabin defeated Impact X Division Champion Lio Rush to become the new Impact X Division Champion. NXT Champion Carmelo Hayes defeated Dragon Lee to retain the NXT Championship. AAA Latin American Champion QT Marshall defeated Metalico to retain the AAA Latin American Championship. Ring of Honor World Champion Claudio Castagnoli defeated Rocky Romero to retain the Ring of Honor World Championship. WWE Women's World Champion Rhea Ripley defeated Raquel Rodriguez to retain the WWE Women's World Championship. Becky Lynch defeated NXT Women's Champion Tiffany Stratton to become the new NXT Women's Champion. That draws to a conclusion round 3 and those title matches. If you missed any of those results, be sure to listen to this broadcast once again to find out whether or not your favorite champion is still champion or whether or not a new one was crowned. We are at the end of round 2 wrestling, and we are about to move into round 4 and a producer and fan favorite, Did You Know? Did You Know are little bits of information and facts about the wrestling world you may or may not have known about. You gotta love the bell. Did you know Owen Hart, aka the Blue Blazer, made only one appearance on SmackDown? It was a backstage interview segment on the debut episode of the program on April 29th, 1999. Phil Thesis, aka Damien Demento, holds the distinction of being in the main event of the very first episode of Monday Night Raw in 1993. He is also an accomplished artist and was put in charge by Vince McMahon to design and create the Abe Knuckleball Schwartz look, played by Steve Brooklyn Brawler Lombardi. Did you know AEW's Jungle Boy Jack Perry wore his late actor father Luke Perry's leather jacket worn on Beverly Hills 90210 during his first heel promo? Did you know one of the talked about names for WCW's Monday Night Show was Head to Head? It was executive Brad Seigel who came up with the name Nitro. Seigel named it after a block of TV action movies on TNT called TNT Nitro. Seigel figured that WCW was trying to attract the same audience that watched TNT Nitro programming, so the name WCW Monday Night Nitro was born. Did you know WWF primary wrestler Sonny Rogers holds a victory over Stone Cold Steve Austin in 1996? It was via a forfeit. Did you know Natty Neidhart holds the WWE female record for most matches wrestled, 1,514, most wins for a wrestler, 663, most WrestleMania appearances, 8, and most pay-per-view appearances, 75. Most appearances on Raw with 174, and most appearances on SmackDown with 200. And did you know the very first WWF licensed video game was called Micro League Wrestling, which came out in 1987. It was available on both the Commodore 64 and Atari gaming systems. That draws to a conclusion this episode of Round 2 Wrestling. Once again, I am your host, SlimmDa KID, and I want to thank you for tuning into this brand new podcast. Be sure to tune in next week while I bring you more news, more rumors, and more results from the world of professional wrestling. Round 2 Wrestling is brought to you by SlimDa KID and Spreaker.com.